Hello, my name is Heina Kovacs, and I'm a Water Management Plan Assistant at the Grand River Conservation Authority. It always is important to think about alternative water sources. If you have a source such as a surface water like a creek or river, you should plan ahead for low water and try to get an irrigation pond, which is a groundwater source and is more reliable in times of low water. As well, you should think about contingency planning for low water. If you want more information about drought contingency planning, you can search for the Whitemans Creek Drought Contingency Project and find our report online. Today's video will show you the step-by-step process from the idea stage of renovating a pond all the way to the day you put your pump into your pond. Today we're going to have some testimonies from farmers showing you their cases and how they're renovating their ponds. These are the steps you will need to take to renovate or create a new irrigation pond. Step 1, ensure you have a permit to take water. Step 2, create a plan. Step 3, get any of the required work permits you may need. And step 4, hire the contractor. If anybody takes more than 50,000 liters of water per day, for example, when you're irrigating, you need to apply for a permit to take water. You can get this permit from the Ministry of the Environment. If you're doing a pond renovation, you need to ensure that you have an active permit for that pond, or you may need to amend your permit, or there's a possibility you might have to get a brand new permit if it's a new source on a different location. If you leave the permit application process for your permit to take water until after your renovation, you risk the chance of not getting approved for a permit. So make sure you include it as your step 1 in your project plan. Once you've figured out that you need to get a permit, you need to access the ontario.ca website where you can find information about the required permits. For example, you can search Map My Property or Map My Permit to Take Water, and they will give you online tools to put your sources onto a map where you can illustrate where your water takings will be. You can then identify which category of permit you qualify for and what you may need to apply for. If you need some assistance or a second hand, you can contact the Ministry of Environment staff and they would be happy to give you a pre-consultation. Step 2, making your actual work plan. When you are making your pond renovation work plan, you need to think of a couple of factors, such as how big do you want your pond to be? You can get online services from the Ministry of Agriculture and Food to help you figure out what size of pond you need to accommodate your water taking or your irrigation demands. You also need to think of things like, where am I going to put the fill once it comes out of the pond? Will it go near the pond in a safe pile away from the pond, or will it go underneath the topsoil at the farm surrounding the pond? You're also going to need to map a couple of things like, do I need to get a permit from a conservation authority? Is there a wetland around my pond that I need to be cognizant of? These are all steps that your local conservation authority can help with. For example, if you live in the Grand River watershed, you can access grandriver.ca, and there's online mapping tools there for you to help map your pond and your surrounding ecosystem. Step 4, hiring a contractor. When you have your work plan set and all your permits in place, you need to talk to your local contractors to get some estimates. Make sure to ask questions like, what is your hourly rate? How big is your equipment? How far is the reach of the equipment? And how much experience they have. If you can, talk to your neighbors to get some reviews. Remember, the cheapest hourly rate doesn't necessarily mean it'll be the cheapest project. The bigger the equipment, like we have behind me, the faster the work will get done.
My name is Regina Rudy. I farm in Brant County. I've been farming here for 36 years. I have been pumping from this creek, and I do have a pond on my property which would be very beneficial for me to pump from the pond, because I would take less water from here and it would be closer to my fields, which was a great advantage. And Heina has approached me about renovating my pond, and I'm like, wow, that's really great, because it'll save so many man hours for me. And I think I'm going to go ahead with it for sure, because this is really a great program. And I won't have the distance from the creek, which is huge for me.
We want to thank the Water Adaptation Management and Quality Initiative Program and Growing Forward 2 for funding our pilot project in the Whitemans Creek Subwatershed. Our drought contingency pilot project was a great success last year, and we're hoping to build on the success of it this year as well.